Cleaver was a presidential candidate in 1968 on the ticket of the Peace and Freedom Party. Having been born on August 31, 1935, Cleaver would not have been the requisite 35 years of age until more than a year after Inauguration Day 1969. Although the Constitution requires that the president be at least 35 years of age, it does not specify whether he need have reached that age at the time of nomination, or election, or inauguration. Courts in both Hawaii and New York held that he could be excluded from the ballot because he could not possibly meet the constitutional criteria. Cleaver and his running mate Judith Mage received 36,571 votes, 0.05%. In the aftermath of the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4, 1968, there were riots across the nation. On April 6, Cleaver and 14 other Panthers were involved in a confrontation with Oakland police officers, during which 2 of the officers were wounded. Cleaver was wounded during the ambush and 17-year-old Black Panther member Bobby Hutton was killed. They were armed with M16 rifles and shotguns. In 1980, he admitted that he had led the Panther group on a deliberate ambush of the police officers, thus provoking the shootout. Some reporters were surprised by this move, because it was in the context of an uncharacteristic speech, in which Cleaver also discredited the Black Panthers, stated, "We need police as heroes," and said that he denounced civilian review boards of police shootings for the bizarre reason that it is a rubber stamp for murder. Some speculated Cleaver's admission could have been a payoff to the Alameda County justice system, whose judge had only just days earlier let him escape prison time. Cleaver was sentenced to community service after getting charged with 3 counts of assault against 3 Oakland police officers. The PBS documentary A Huey Newton Story claims that Bobby Hutton was shot more than 12 times after he had already surrendered and stripped down to his underwear to prove he was not armed. Charged with attempted murder after the incident, Cleaver jumped bail to flee to Cuba in late 1968. Initially treated with luxury by the Cuban government, the hospitality ended upon reports Fidel Castro had received information of the CIA infiltrating the Black Panther Party. Cleaver then decided to head to Algeria, sending word to his wife to meet him there. Elaine Klein normalized his status by getting him an invitation to attend the Pan-African Cultural Festival, rendering him temporarily safe from prosecution. The festival allowed him to network with revolutionaries from all over Africa in order to discuss the perils of white supremacy and colonialism. Cleaver was outspoken in his call to violence against the United States, contributing to his mission to position the Panthers within the revolutionary nationalist camp inside the United States and as disciples of Fanon on the world stage. Cleaver had set up an international office for the Black Panthers in Algeria. Following Timothy Leary's Weather Underground-assisted prison escape, Leary stayed with Cleaver in Algiers. However, Cleaver placed Leary under revolutionary arrest, as a counter-revolutionary for promoting drug use. Cleaver cultivated an alliance with North Korea in 1969, and BPP publications began reprinting excerpts from Kim Il-sung's writings. Although leftists of the time often looked to Cuba, China, and North Vietnam for inspiration, few had paid any attention to the secretive Pyongyang regime. Bypassing U.S. travel restrictions on North Korea, Cleaver and other BPP members made 2 visits to North Korea in 1969–1970 with the idea that the Juche model could be adapted to the revolutionary liberation of African Americans. Taken on an official tour of North Korea, Cleaver expressed admiration at the DPRK's stable, crime-free society which provided guaranteed food, employment, and housing for all, and which had no economic or social inequalities. Byron Von Booth, former Panther Deputy Minister of Defense, claimed that, after a trip to North Korea, Cleaver discovered that his wife had been having an affair with Clinton Robert Smith, Jr. Booth told the FBI he had witnessed Cleaver shoot and kill Smith with an AK-47 in Algeria. Elaine Moktefi, in the London Review of Books, writes that Cleaver confessed the murder to her shortly after committing it.